Hello, I'm here for the Southern Nature Art Exhibition, and today I'm interviewing Nick Barker. Hey, Nick.
Hello.
Yeah, just why don't you introduce yourself for a second?
Hi, I'm Nick Barker. I do drawing and painting in my spare time. I work full time, and so drawing and painting is my hobby, and it, I enjoy doing it.
Wonderful. That's what we like.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. So, where are you zooming to us from today?
My house. I'm in my living room because I tried to go in the studio and do it, but it was a bit too light in there.
Sure.
So we sort of put a few things around so people can see. So we're in the lounge.
Very nice. And I see you got some pieces behind you, which is lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, what got you into like enjoying drawing and painting and that sort
Um,
of things?
I've always drawn and painted since I was at school, and it's mainly drawing,
Yeah.
pencils, and what first got me into it was when I was a kid. We used to go and stay with my dad when me and my sisters. We used to have competitions on drawing, handicap and flow.
Yeah.
I don't know if you'll remember them, but and I was always the better one. I just continued it throughout school, and I preferred to draw. And in my lessons and that, like history, I used to draw lovely pictures of castles and Oliver Cromwell and all that. And my teachers used to say, "We'd love to put you through because we love your drawings, but your writing side of it's not very good."
Yeah. Always the way, one or the other. Yeah. So, like, obviously, you were self-taught, and sort of, what was that process like? If you can remember, like, how did it feel? Like, was it a case of like frustration, or like just growing in confidence, ability, or?
It's just like growing in confidence, and I learned by watching other people work as well. I watch other people. In the later years, I've gone to workshops and I've been taught different techniques and tips. Um, so it's all a learning curve. Even now, I'm still learning. You know, it's still different ways and different techniques.
Yeah.
You can never stop learning.
Brilliant.
So
That's brilliant. Yeah. And obviously, you've been doing it for a while now. You're no longer at school. So, like, what would you say is your greatest achievement? So, or if if you've got so many you can't choose, like, what's your greatest achievements in like,
well,
your artistic career?
this one behind me here, winner
Yeah.
takes all. That was just so much movement in there, and it was from a scene we saw in Botswana, and I've done that in pastel and velour paper,
Mm.
and it's just the movement and the energy in that, and it's portraying nature as nature is, because that's what happens in the wild. And you know, it's a leopard, impala, and crocodile, and unfortunately, the impala lost, and so did the leopard. The crocodile won.
Yeah.
So, um, but then I've won a few awards. I've got a big elephant picture I've done, Majestic. I won the Twazi Award last year for that best African picture, which I've fortunately, because of coronavirus, I still have the award this year, so I've got to keep
Oh.
it for another year.
You can put yourself a
uh,
multi-award winner now. It's good.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I've won quite a few awards with my work, so which
Wonderful.
is good.
Mm.
Yeah.
And you mentioned Botswana and Africa as well. Like, you spend much time there, or is it just the one time? Or
I've been there 4 times now. I love safaris.
yeah.
Twice to Botswana, twice to Tanzania, the Serengeti, and southern Tanzania. Just exceptional places, and I like for photography to get your work and do a bit of sketching there. It's really, really good. We went to India earlier this year, but unfortunately we had to come home early, so we didn't get a
Cool.
lot of time out there.
Oh, it's a shame.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I think like when I sit down and like want to create something, I have a sort of certain way of going about it. I was wondering, like, do you have a process, or is it like, I suppose, like, from the end of one project to the end of another? What does that look like? What's that sort of movement?
Um, when I start something, I've got to get the idea in my head of what I want to do first, and generally it's through scenes that I've seen. Because I do other work as well. I do cars, helicopters, all that, as well as the wildlife. But if there's something that inspires me, and I think that would make a really good drawing, I'll get it done. But I start off just by doing a couple of sketches of how I want it to look, and then I'll build it up. Generally, I'll use work from photographs, and then sometimes I'll do a grid system, and then I'll draw it out on a grid system, and then it's just a matter of building it up and layering it up.
Yeah. Covered that one already. So like, obviously every artist has a style, has a sort of way that you look at their art and it's like, oh yeah, that's Nick Marco, you know. So like, what would you say your style is? Like, what makes your art yours?
I think it's the amount of detail I put into it,
Mm-hmm.
and the contrast between lights and darks that I use. It just works for me, and most people, when they see it's my pencil work, like this one, it's the elephants, and sometimes I like to do something a bit quirky, like the background doesn't go all the way around the elephant.
Yeah.
And then I've done a few others. I've done some penguins which I sold, and they got the pencil drawings, but they got a touch of colour in. They got a bit of yellow down the neck, so and things like that, and that's generally a lot of people sort of know I do it.
Yeah, that's nice. I like that.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. I suppose like you draw a lot of stuff in nature, obviously. And what is it about nature, and what it is about that sort of what draws you to that subject?
I think it's probably because it's a natural world, and this is even with. It's not just like the wildlife. When I see clouds and things like that, I'm fascinated. I look at clouds for a long time, although you don't see many in my drawings, but I just get fascinated by things that move around in nature and what happens. And I've been to the Alps a few times of work, and the scenery is just immense, and I just love it all. Anything to do with nature, I just love.
Amazing.
And then I think, well, why are people just building everywhere when there's so much nature out there, you know? But that's another subject.
Yeah, it's meant to be a short interview. Yeah. I think just to be topical, I'll say like, what is it like to be an artist in lockdown? Obviously, you can't get out as much. You can't go to some places you might want to. Like, is that a restriction, or like, are there opportunities that come up as well?
We've been out a couple of times lately. But I've got so much reference material from I've been to Africa and everywhere.
Yeah.
I look through my photos and I just get on and do it. But I say, because I'm working full time, I've still been working through lockdown, so nothing's really changed for me.
Okay, that's good to hear, actually. Yeah. I suppose, obviously, I imagine quite a few people have tried to get, like, people who've always wanted to start drawing or start painting. This has been a great opportunity for them, really. And I suppose I'd love to know what kind of advice you'd give, or like what word of wisdom you'd say to somebody who's just started out, really loving creating things like you do.
Yeah, well, the advice I'd give is don't give up. Just keep carrying on with it. Hey, you will make mistakes. I still make mistakes. I still throw stuff away. But just keep going with it. And the more you practice, the more you get it.
Brilliant.
Yeah, definitely. That's where I see it. Because I say, the last couple of pictures I started doing, I've found a different technique for doing the way I've done it. And one of them worked very well. And I put it online, and someone liked the picture so much they bought it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And have you got a lot of stuff available for sale at the moment? Like,
yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Good to hear. Yeah.
They're two behind me.
Okay, very nice. Can we see them close to the camera?
I'll bring that. That's my polar bear. I don't know if the glass.
Yeah. No, that's. You can see enough of it. Yeah.
Yeah. A friend of mine took me to that because she went to Antarctica. Not Antarctica.
The Arctic.
The Arctic for that. And here's
Brilliant.
That is from Tanzania.
Yeah.
And here's one done in pastel. And that's from India this year.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So let's say the one I'm working on now, so you can see the rough build up of it.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
I just draw outlines, and it's all like been gridded and that.
Amazing.
And then I'll just fill it in. So and that's just a small selection. But as I say, I've got. If you look around my walls, I've got loads at
Yeah,
home.
thank you. So good. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's everything I wanted to ask you, really.
Right.
But yeah, thank you so much for sitting down with me in a virtual way. Yeah, I hope you have a great day. I hope I'll see you at some point, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, have a good one.
Right. Thank you
Cool.
very much.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.